No, I don't even have a drink with me. What am I doing here?
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure what's going on. This is just going to go downhill in a hurry.
Well, go get one.
I know. Well, hey, everybody. We'll say hi while we're getting started here. This is Mark and my friend. I'm going to point the right direction. You ready? Oh, I'm always pointing the wrong way. This is my friend Robin. We're going to be hanging out here tonight for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or an hour. And we'll be hanging out, answering whatever questions we can from you guys. But I want you to meet her and get to know her a little better as an artist. But in the meantime, I got to get something to drink because I'm thirsty and I just sat down. Maybe I can text my wife from here and see if she can bring me something. I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see if that works.
What's your drink of choice, Mark?
I am mostly, so just between you and me, since it's just us and my friend Music Chick Art here. So probably 6 or 7 months ago, I found out that I'm diabetic. Didn't know that.
Oh, really?
So that was a new revelation.
Oh, wow.
So life has changed as far as food and that kind of thing quite a bit. So everything's good. I mean, I'm fine, but I'm learning how to eat and drink differently.
Yeah.
You know, now that I found that out. So now my drink of choice has become Coke Zero because I can.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just trying to keep the sugar down. But yeah, that's it's kind of boring, but that's what it's become so lately. Yeah. So that's me.
Okay.
What's your drink of choice though? What do you got there?
Oh, well, tonight is a cab.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Sometimes it's Russian water.
Okay. Well, we'll see how much this broadcast requires. What is up, Shelly? Good to see you. Hey, of course, I know both of you, but just for fun, let us know where you're watching from and tell us what the weather's like where you're at. Robin, what's the weather like in Ohio right now?
Weird. It's very weird. It's in the 70s and it's October's almost over. Last week we had a freeze warning and winter warning, and now it's in the 70s.
That's about like us too. Yep. Of course, I was at Disney last week for vacation. That was great. My wife and I went to the Magic Kingdom together for vacation. It's the first time we've ever gone. The last time either one of us were there were when we were about 10, and we weren't married then either, just to be clear. But we never took our kids or anything. So we waited until the kids got out of the house and then we went ourselves.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So it was great. So if you don't tell anybody, I've got a lot of friends who are huge Disney fans and I am too. But we found out that we are not Disney World people like we thought we would be, which was kind of weird. So we spent a lot of money, you know, cause it's not cheap. And we went to the Magic Kingdom and we were like, holy crap, we hate this. But we're not allowed to tell anybody because, of course, that's blasphemy, right? You can't say that you don't like Magic Kingdom. But it was like wall-to-wall strollers, right? And which I get it. I'm a parent. I totally get it. I'm not looking down on any parent whatsoever. But now that I've done my tour of duty with children, I don't necessarily want to be around 10,000 strollers. And of course it was strollers and motorized, wheelchairs, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is also great. But I realized, wow, this mass chaos is just not for me. But what's funny is when I was a kid, I remember going to Epcot and thinking that was like the 9th level of hell. And, the Magic Kingdom was great.
Yeah.
And now guess what?
It's opposite.
Absolutely.
Did you go to the Food and Wine Festival?
Yep. And it was great.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was fantastic. I mean, we ate and drank our way all the way through it was fantastic. Yep. And we went there for a half day at first. And then we realized we bought the park hopper that you can go and hop different.
You're like, so this is where the adults go.
Yes. and so the second half of every day was at Epcot. It was great. It was really great. We did enjoy, we didn't get a chance to be in Animal Kingdom a whole lot, but Pandora was really cool.
Yeah.
And of course we went to
our favorite ride there was the mine ride. But we were there when we were, it was like 2013 to 2016, something like that. That's when we were there.
We also enjoyed I keep wanting to say Universal Studios. No.
Disney Studios.
Y'all know what we mean. Yeah. That was really great. Star Wars, of course, Galaxy's Edge was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes. That one's great.
Yes,
Yes. That
absolutely.
one is a lot of fun. However, the virtual rides always make me sicker than a dog.
Well, and so I found out, yes.
I should have warned you.
Well, you couldn't have warned me because when I was younger, I rode all those just fine, and something happened when I got old,
Yeah.
and I can't do it anymore. And I thought my brain is there, but my stomach's not.
No,
For
I
sure.
couldn't do it. I can do rides. I can't do virtual rides.
Well, I found out I can't do rides almost at all, which was really discouraging.
I have to take Dramamine. If I take Dramamine, I'm good. But a
Yep,
virtual ride where it's all a movie screen and
Yep.
it's moving you up and down, I have to close my eyes and turn my head and like pray I don't puke.
Yep. Oh, so we got. So I'm looking at the chat here. We've got 58 degrees in Toronto. That doesn't sound bad at all. I love a little chill in the air. Is great. Diane from NorCal. What's the weather like there in NorCal, Diane? Shelly says she's in Missouri. It's 55 and raining.
Yuck.
Yeah, yuck. That was what it was like this morning here. It was raining and about 50, 55, something like that this morning for sure. We got 51 people on right now, so that's good. Y'all, if you are just watching, jump in and say hi in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. But I've got my friend Robin Marsh here with me, and she's got a good drink to bring us along for both of us. So this is going to be fun. But if you guys, hopefully you already know her, but if you don't, you're going to get a chance to know her here. And Robin, why don't we get started by you just telling us your story about how you got into lasers. Like when did you get a laser? What caused you to get it? Which one did you get when you started? Kind of talk to us a little bit about that so that people can kind of connect with your beginnings. And then I'll start asking you questions about how you got to here and what you're doing now.
Okay. Yeah. So I got a laser when I was living in Washington, and I was making fine artwork, pen and ink illustrations of wildlife in the area. And I got a Glowforge Pro to offer an extension of my product offering of my illustrations. That was July of 2019. And I engraved one of my illustrations on a cutting board, and it took me about 3.5 hours.
Yes.
And I realized that maybe this wasn't going to be the best extension of my illustrations as far as products go. So I made a couple of things, and then shortly after, my husband got a promotion and we got moved to Ohio. And so my laser got boxed up for 2 or 3 months, and we got settled into our house in Ohio, and I broke out my laser to make some Christmas gifts, and I made this fun. I actually grabbed a Chinese checkers board.
Yes.
For my mom, and that's kind of how I got into actually making, stuff that wasn't, my illustrations, right?
Did you make that on your Glowforge?
Yeah.
Wow,
so that's back, you can see it's 2 pieces.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Together. So each one of these corners, this is one piece right here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then this is a centerpiece. So these are all a different wood. And then it's split through here. You just can't see the split because it's obviously covered. And then I finished with leather on the end.
Fantastic.
To clean it up.
Now, I know I'm jumping ahead because we talked about this yesterday, but what wood did you use to make that with?
This is mahogany.
I know there's a lot of them, but
yeah, there's mahogany, oak, and I believe that's cherry.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah. So I only used 3 woods in that one.
Well, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let Robin get back to her story in just a second, but I want to also give you guys along the way some ways to get in touch with her or to connect with her work. We both laughed when I typed this in, but I'm going to go ahead and put her website on the screen here. So it's welcomehomecustom.com, no S. Okay.
Yeah,
Not
so
Welcome Home Customs, but no S, Welcome Home Custom. And we both know that that will help you remember. So
I'm
that's
starting with
okay.
that. It's so funny because whenever someone, if it like on the different Facebook groups, if someone's like, whose file is this? And they're like, oh, well, check Welcome Home Customs. I'm like, there's no S.
Right. But, and I told you when I first started my business several years ago, I was just doing graphic design, and was and still
Diane,
am.
I hit all the teasers. There's no teasers.
Right.
They're always looking for the items that I'm making.
Yes. No teasers, right?
No
Sorry
teasers.
about that, Diane. Checking out the background for a teaser. Very
Yep.
good. And you know what? I'll make you feel terrible. I know what one of them is, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm sorry. That's okay. But I will tell you, Diane, you for real, you'll not be disappointed. It's super cool. So of course that's not a surprise, but she has kept the bar high. It's very cool. You'll be happy, I promise. In fact, I want you to talk about what I know she's hinting at as far as your subscription is concerned, but let's continue on your story. So you got your Glowforge, you
Yes.
made the Chinese checkers back there.
Yes.
And so was that kind of one of your early things that you made?
That was my first. This was my first design that I actually listed on Etsy.
Okay.
So someone and we talked about this. I had no idea file sales existed. Like I had no idea this world existed. And we moved to Ohio, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll sell maybe I'll make cool stuff and sell to realtors. And so I came up with the name Welcome Home Custom. Like that was where that name even came from, which obviously I'm not doing anything like that. But so I shared my gift that I made for my mom, and someone asked me if I would share the file or sell the file. And so I said, okay, I've got an LLC, Welcome Home Custom. I guess I can just add it to my Etsy. And that was my first file.
That's great. That's great.
Crazy.
So when you made that one, you made that one, you listed a file. Did all the bells start ringing right away as far as, hey, I can start selling files for kind of a living, or was that a slow process to learn that?
I mean, I would say I ramped up pretty fast.
Okay.
I sold it. I had some instant success with it. It wasn't gangbusters. It wasn't crazy, but it was enough to go, I don't have a job right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not bringing any income. Like this is all right,
Yeah.
And so my next thing I decided to make was a quilt, figure out how, and I think that's kind of what I really like doing, is figuring out how I can make big stuff, but still cut it on a smaller format, like a Glowforge versus like big, Nova or Aeon or whatever. So I made a quilt, and then that seemed to really take off. It's been a wild ride, honestly.
Well, right when you
I know you know that too. It's just been crazy.
I do. Well, even when you just showed the Chinese checkers behind you, the very first thing I thought of, besides that it's pretty, was, hey, that's bigger than a Glowforge. That's the very first thing I thought of. And of course, I knew how you made it, but I love to hear it anyway, because Robin and I both want everybody out there to be able to make all the things you dreamed about making. Mm-hmm. And if we can help you, we'd love to. If our files help, great. If we can just encourage you and cheer you on, that's great too. We just want to help you guys make the things you want to make. And if our files help you get there, then that's even better.
Yeah. I want people to feel proud of what they're making.
Yes.
Show it with sincere, like, excitement, and say, I made this,
Yep, absolutely. In
That's
fact,
how I feel.
you said so many things when we talked yesterday that I hope we get a chance to touch on, but I'll hold on to them for a little bit later. One of the things you mentioned earlier when you were talking about how you started, one of the phrases you used yesterday, I think you said it again today, was you looked at your Glowforge as kind of an extension of your artwork. right?
Yes. Mhm.
And so when you bought your Glowforge, did you know, like when you ordered it, did you
Mhm.
already have kind of a good plan of how you were going to incorporate your artwork, or did that come piece by piece as well? You said you did a
So kind of.
yeah,
So it's interesting. So one of my art forms I did prior to my illustrations was copper etching.
okay,
And so etching, right, is very similar to engraving.
yeah,
Um, Etching, I'm taking away metal in a different way.
chemical
It's
usually, yeah,
chemical etch, right?
right,
And so my thought was I would be engraving my designs, whether it's cutting board, making ornaments, Christmas ornaments, that sort of thing.
right,
Uh, and so that was kind of my game plan, was just that, and I just wanted an excuse to buy a laser.
sure, I get that,
But I was making some of my illustrations would take me a full 2 weeks, so I really needed to find outside of just art prints. I needed to find something that I could have almost like a cash cow in a way that could turn
yes,
uh outside of me just drawing with tiny little pens um for 2 weeks. So
right.
you know what I
So
mean?
that's how you got into that. That's cool. See, for me, when I ordered, I was one of the pre-orders back in 2015,
Hmm.
and in October of 2015, this company called Glowforge advertised this new thing they were rolling out in December,
Yep.
like October, November, December. Yeah, that didn't happen.
No,
It was,
I remember I was looking at their Kickstarter.
yeah,
Yes, I was watching it when I was in Florida before we moved to Washington. So it was always back there.
yep.
They are like marketing wizards.
They are. And so I did not have the money. I was talking to my family about it and I said, "Man, I don't have a plan, but I'm creative. I think a laser would be cool. What are you going to make with it?" No idea. But being a designer, I'm thinking I can figure that out.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about it and I said, "Well, I really don't have the money for this." I think it was, if I remember right, the prices were for a basic, I believe was $2,500.
Mhm.
I think
The
it's
Pro was
been
up to 65.
the what?
The Pro was about 65, I think.
Was it? I can't remember, but I knew that that was unreachable for me. There's no way I could do that. And so my mom said, "Oh, you want that?" And she bought it for me, which is fantastic. I mean,
Oh, that's
mom,
awesome.
it's fantastic.
Moms
And
and dads are awesome.
parents are I mean, my
Yes,
parents are great.
mine are
So
too.
my mom bought it for me, and she was so excited because we were going to have Christmas presents that year from the
Mhm.
Glowforge.
Oh
Not even close. So, of
no.
course, it came out in 2017, 2
Yeah.
years later, and I got mine December 11th of 2017, and 30 minutes after it hit my front porch, I was cutting my first thing because it's as
Mhm.
you know, it's super easy to set up. It's not hard at
Mhm.
all, and I had 2 years to prepare, y'all, so, I mean, I
Yep.
had plenty of things to cut. I had plenty of time. Of course, I stopped telling my friends that I'd ordered this thing because I had to explain to them I didn't have it. Um, but yeah, I jumped in, but I didn't have a plan. I had a lot of graphics. I mean, I'm not an artist like you. We're different types of artists, but I had several things I think this could translate,
Right. Yeah.
and so I slowly started doing that. And so you said, did you open up did you already have an Etsy and you just added it to your Etsy? Or did you open one?
No, so I had gotten my LLC under the name Welcome Home Custom,
Yeah,
but I had not opened my store yet. Now I had done other stores in the past with my art on Etsy,
yeah.
so I knew how to do it. So it wasn't that hard to get it up and running. But and it's actually funny. I listed this, and I don't know if it's because it said Chinese checkers or what, but it was flagged, and then my whole shop got shut down.
Oh, nice.
So then I had to like email Etsy support and say it's just a Chinese checkers board, guys. Like there's nothing, And so
You didn't say exploding knives, checkers,
no,
bomb,
no. So it was back up
marijuana
to, 24,
weapon,
right,
something. Right.
right. So it was back up 24, 48 hours later. But yeah, yeah. So someone said sell the file. I'm like, okay. But I've always been like pretty, I don't know, like I've just been kind of, it doesn't scare me to just start a new business and like just open
Yeah.
up and like just run with it. Like there's just something that, well, what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
You
And I
know?
love that. And I think I know that you and I are probably wired that way to some degree, and I get it.
Yeah.
But I think I can speak for both of us. We both want to see everybody out there succeed,
Yes.
and I've always searched for a way to say this with sensitivity, but also forcefulness. Is hey, get over your fear and do it.
Hmm.
Right. Um, and I'm not suggesting that the fear isn't real. I know that it is. I get it. Sometimes it's fear about money. Sometimes it's fear about failure. Sometimes it's fear about the ego getting out there and getting embarrassed. We both get all those, right? But
Yeah.
um, I just I'm more afraid of not doing something I love, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
100%.
I love it. So our stories are similar. So you, as far as Facebook and the communities are concerned, I think you're just like me. You jumped into the Glowforge user group kind of early on. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%. That's probably
Yeah.
where, I mean, that's where I shared most of my stuff early
Right.
on. And now it's just become so niche. Like you can go, there's
Yeah.
so many different groups now that
Yep.
you can go everywhere, which way to
Right.
talk
Speaking of
lasers.
groups, including yours.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
So I've got two group URLs here. Would you tell everybody which ones these are? So you got this one, or
So
did we?
so this is the one that you have up right now
Yep.
is my business page. So
Okay.
that's if you want to just go to see general business stuff.
Yes.
And then the group is the laser design page where it's a group and we can talk about the designs, how to make them, what you love,
Yeah.
that what you want to see, that sort of thing.
So you guys, if you haven't, please go ahead and like her business page. For starters, you're going to like it. You're going to enjoy it anyway. But I will tell you, I will say this for her so she doesn't have to say it. It helps us a lot to be able to reach more people when we get more likes, when we get more engagement, when we get all those things. Also, and by the way, I didn't check your page to see if you're using this, Robin, or not, but on our business pages, that's one of the few places we can get reviews. We can also get them on Etsy, and depending on how our website's set up, we can do that too. But if you guys have ever used any of Robin's products, please go to her Facebook page. In fact, let me put it back up. Go here, and we're going to stay live until she gets 100 new reviews. No, we're not doing that. But yeah, right. She just froze. I'm sorry, you're not moving. You're frozen. Yeah, she just poured another glass, right? But seriously,
Derek!
everybody, right? Please go to her page and genuinely, if you like her products, which I'm sure you do, please leave her a review because that helps us a lot. It helps us be able to get found by other people. It helps with social proof as far as real people liking our products. So please go to her page and do that because it helps a ton.
It does. It
And
does.
and I know that sometimes it's awkward to ask for those, but I don't feel awkward asking for them to do it for you.
And
So,
please leave wonderful and kind comments and reviews for Mark as well.
oh well, thank you. I didn't see that coming. Thank you so much. That's great. But seriously, guys, that's a great way to, if you enjoy either the things that we do, that's a great way to help us, and it doesn't cost anything, and it's legit, and helps give what we do legitimacy to outsiders.
Well,
Uh,
and if anything, it just, you know what? It honestly, for me, it fuels me. Like it
yeah,
makes me want to make more.
right, right. We
It,
love
it,
hearing your
it,
stories.
it tells me that I'm on the right track.
Yep. And I'll add one more thing to this because we both have groups, and I want you to go join her group. But let me say this from the business side of things. The group is where you can interact with each other more. The group is where you can interact with Robin more. All those are great. Please do those things. But for outsiders, people who are coming and don't know who we are, our page is where they tend to find us first before
Yes.
they find the other things. And then if they do Google searches, our group won't come up hardly at all. As far as I know, I don't think it'll come up at all.
Might
But
just
our
be our
page will,
websites even or our Etsy.
right?
Right.
But our pages will.
Yeah.
And so that's why it really helps us a lot. So thank you in advance for those. We really appreciate that a lot. So I think I'm sure that we bumped into each other on the Glowforge user group because that's where everybody was early
Oh,
on.
probably. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't. Do you happen to remember just off the top of your head like how big that group was when you started?
I don't,
I remember I
honestly.
started in, it had to be 2017, I guess, or 18, whenever. I don't remember when the group actually started, but I want to say maybe 18 is when I got in. And I want to say there was about 3,500 people
Wow.
and or some under 5,000.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, holy crap, this place is huge.
Right. And now,
Yeah, right, right. And
now all
it
the
was,
groups are enormous.
I know they're enormous now, because there's several out there that are well over 30,000, pushing
Mhm.
40,000 members. Now we both know that a lot of them are the same members,
Yes. Yeah.
but it was really cool because I remember when we, honestly, the Glowforge was and largely still is the consumer level laser, right? I mean,
Yes.
when you're talking about the couple thousand, and
It's the gateway.
right, and if you say, or it is totally a gateway. But if you think about this, they have more advertising than anybody is even close. Nobody's even.
Oh, well, they're a marketing company.
They are a marketing company.
They're a marketing
Absolutely.
company.
So so Robin and I bumped into each other several times, I'm sure, over the years in Glowforge user group, and then of course, consequently, other groups as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always enjoyed her art. We talked about that extensively yesterday. Her designs are great. In fact, I'll go ahead and embarrass her in public again. We had a meeting yesterday, she and I, with a couple of people in my office, and Tyler said, yes, her website has been open on our computers a lot because we just admire your work so much. It's really great. In fact, I see Victor is. Do you know Victor?
Yeah, I know
Maybe?
Victor.
Victor is great. But he says it's such a great page, so that's fantastic. But yeah, we just really admire your work so much. And of course, the thing that we got to know you through was your quilt designs, those styles.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's what we know you most for. You've done many other things, but that's the thing that stuck out to us.
Mhm.
So, I did not prepare myself because I'm a doofus. I wanted to ask, I can't type and talk at the same time either. Welcome home, custom without an S. Yes.
.com.
I wanted to show people your website and to
Okay.
kind of maybe highlight one or two things that are kind of, and they're all representations of you, obviously, but we wanted to highlight maybe one or two things that maybe are either your favorites or just things that are really popular. So let's take a look at Robin's
Oh,
website here.
popular.
And let me actually do this. There you go. Welcome home, custom, no S, right? So here's her website. And let me ask you this. We didn't talk about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you, as far as the public things you list, I know you've got your file club as well. But
Yes.
as far as the public things you list, do you list everything on your Etsy and your website, or does one favor the other?
So, so I would say everything goes on my website first, and
Yeah.
then Etsy is kind of second.
Yep.
Most of my stuff's on Etsy, and then I also sell on Design Bundles, which is like a far third.
Yep.
I don't have near as much on there, but yeah, the best place is probably it's it's easier to shop on Etsy, I think. Honestly, I need to work on that here, but all my files are on my website.
Well, let me say something I think is true about you. I know it's true about me. Let me see if you agree. Etsy probably, of course, has the more organic following because people go there anyway.
Yes.
And then we have to drive people and teach them to come to our website. But
Yes.
the flip side is our website, your website for sure, mine too. We can take care of people better in certain ways. Like we can give them links or we can give them videos. We can give them things that Etsy doesn't allow.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I tell people shop wherever you are most comfortable. That's great. But if you want to be able to easily get to things, my website and her website are easier to get to things.
Yes.
So that's my preference too. So let's
Yes.
take a look. What are some things that you would say, hey, this is one of my favorite things? And of course, we talked about this. Sometimes your most recent is your favorite. Sometimes. But I know you mentioned your cribbage board. I believe you mentioned some games yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Well, so games so I have been on this weird game kick. I love board games personally. And so I started with the Chinese checkers board, but I started making more like complicated games. So like I made this, if you can scroll down.
Oh, yep. I will scroll down to
Yeah.
the cribbage board or
Yeah. If you want. I mean, it's right.
yeah.
So I've started making more, fancier boards.
Yep. Oh, it's so pretty.
That people can feel, and then I add details in unexpected places. So like there's detail on the bottom, and then there's detail actually inside, and then there's detail on the side.
I know, stupid camera, everything's backwards. I know.
So I like providing unexpected details or over the top details, I guess. Hey guys, today on what?
Sorry. I hear the video.
Probably one I'm most proud of is my Connect or my 4 in a row.
Oh, yes. That's cool. Is that on the website also?
It is.
So can I search just games and pull up a whole bunch of games?
Go to family game night.
Oh, yep. Family game night.
Family game night. Yep.
Oh, these are so pretty. So I have to ask, I know the answer, but tell me how you get, tell me what kind of stain you use.
Oh, so I don't use, so if you follow me, I don't use stain.
Yep.
I only use wood veneers or wood plywoods in different species of wood. So this is a walnut, a mahogany, and this is a white oak. I have this is my checkers board is cedar, and then you open it up and there's inlay of all of the, my checkers are going to probably fall everywhere, but so you can see the inlay of all the different, and then the scored details. So I love making games.
Well, I can tell you're really good at it. These are great.
I did make a Parcheesi board, but then I didn't list it because I didn't want to get sued.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that is one thing that I try to, like this, you can list as a 4 in a row. Everyone lists as a 4 in a row. It's Connect 4 that is actually copyrighted, the name.
Gotcha.
But I do avoid anything that's gonna get anyone sued.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I do. I totally do. So these are I don't mind giving a shout out if you want to also, but we both get a lot of our wood from the same place.
Yes, Smoky Hill.
Yep, Casey. Smoky Hill Designs. Yep. Yeah,
so we love Casey.
Yep.
And Angela.
Well, we love Angela more, but I mean, they come together, so I guess we have to love Casey.
But I don't like. I will paint. Like you can see the checkers I painted. But I prefer to just paint with wood. And I really like, especially when I get into quilts and that sort of thing. I even lay out the pieces to follow the wood grain from left to right. So when you cut them out, the pieces of the quilt will follow the wood grain and complement the, so if you go into the first one right there, the 3 diamond quilt pattern.
Yep.
You can see how like the walnut is following.
Yes, I see it.
But it's going in following that grain of wood.
In fact, let's pause on that because I think this is a great tip to give people that we should probably just say again. So when they buy this file from you, these details can make it look really great if they learn to do that, right? So that's a sneaky tip that is right there in front of you, but if you don't know, you don't know, right?
Well, yeah, and so some people will open the file and say, well, this isn't nested as well as it could be. I said, well, but then if you nest it and move everything around, you're no longer playing with your wood grain. And the wood grain is what makes it really pop and sell for a lot of money. Like this, you could sell for $300 if you frame it.
Right.
But if you start messing with your wood grain, folks will look at it and they'll not know what's off about it.
Right.
But they'll know there's something off. But if the wood grain is flowing the way it should, people will just be like, oh, well, that makes sense.
So let's talk a little more about that. When you were laying this out, like this one, for example,
Hmm.
when you were laying this one out, so you've obviously got to look at your materials that you have.
Yes.
And I guess sometimes the trade-off, and tell me if I'm wrong, sometimes the trade-off is you're going to have lots of more scraps left over because you're looking for this piece to fit.
100%. Yeah.
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 But when you're looking at selling something for $300, $400,
Yeah.
it's kind of, it can be worth it.
Absolutely.
Actually, let me
I think
grab.
that's worth mentioning.
Oh, actually, you can pull it up. Go
Yeah.
into landscapes. No, go into the main page.
Yep. So home. Yep.
Mhm. And scroll down. Go to the cow.
The cow. Right here. Highland cow.
Yep.
Okay.
This is a good example too. So if you pull up his picture, you can see where the wood grains are actually following his hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all following the pattern. Again, no, it's not nested as tight as it could be, but if you move it around,
Yeah.
you're no longer following his hair.
And so let me emphasize what you said a minute ago is if you are selling, and I'd like to talk about pricing for just a minute too, but if you're going to sell something for $200, for $300, whatever the number ends up being, and pricing it the way you probably should, then you're not going to worry about whether you, and I'm going to use air quotes here, wasted, because of course you can come back and use the scraps for other things.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't have to go to the trash. But if you temporarily wasted, let's make up a number, 5 sheets of variety of things, meaning that you use parts of them and not all of them.
Yes.
And let's say the average sheet, let's say it's, I'll make up again a number, $15. And it could be a lot less than that, of course, but $10 because I went to public school. So I'm going to use $10. And you wasted parts of 4, even if you wasted the whole sheet, you're talking about $40.
Yeah.
And of course you didn't waste the whole sheet, but $40. Let's say it was 6 sheets, $60.
Yep.
And then you're selling it for $300. So you got a $240 profit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And the reality is you can use the other pieces that are left in those
sheets.
Oh,
100%. You could use them for so many different things.
Right. So I know you've been an artist for a long time, so maybe you've got to think back in time on this one. But when you started selling things, I'm sure you went through a progression of price points, I'm sure. Like I'll make up a number. Like for me, when I sold my first website that I made, I had to work up the courage to charge somebody $100.
Oh, wow.
Right? I know it's hilarious. And I love telling the story because it's funny, right? And I remember the first day, I remember where I was sitting. I was sitting at Chick-fil-A here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, in the corner booth, or not Broken Arrow, Tulsa. I know exactly where I was sitting, talking to the person, and they slid me $100 cash bill. And I was like, oh my gosh, life is amazing.
Yes.
And then I went home and I told my beautiful wife how it happened. She said, I'm so proud of you. How long did you spend on that website? And I said, it couldn't have been more than 30 or 40 hours. I mean, it was not that long, right. And she's so sweet. She's like, oh,
yeah.
And I realized, oh my gosh. So I'll tell the story, try to fast because I want to get to yours. But then I got the courage to charge $200. And I thought, no one's ever going to pay me $200 for a website. And they did. And then I went to $250 and then $500. And when I went to $750, I thought, I'm done. This is over. No one's paying $750. And what's funny? I got more and more customers. And by the time I quit doing this, I was charging $5,000, $6,000. And I was still telling people, I was still being told by some people that they weren't sure I knew what I was doing because my price was so low.
Yep.
Right. So all that to say, it takes some courage, but it also takes some homework to find out what your market really is, not what you think it is, but what it really is. And I'll say one more thing and turn it over to you.
Yeah, no.
I had to have the courage to lose the $500 customer to go to the $1,000 customer.
Yeah.
And they would no longer be my customer.
Yeah.
And I had to be okay with that to get to this one. So was your journey anywhere near like that as far as?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So my first my first art festival that I did was a was a was at a turtle sanctuary like art festival. So
Yeah.
it was very small. I was living in Jupiter, Florida, and this is when I was doing my copper etchings. And so I was making these small copper etchings of very detailed, a lot of a lot of design, like my um, Chinese checkers board, where there's a lot of detail in each animal. And I would sell the etching, and I actually would adhere it to the top of the glass and frame it. So people would walk up and it looks like it's under the glass, but then they get up close and they realize it's actually on top.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
I sold, I had them listed at like $150. Well, it's copper and it's on a frame and it's taking like way too long. And so, and I sold quite a few. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And so then I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger with my copper pieces. And I was charging more and more and more. And I got up to about 2,500 on my copper pieces. But then when I moved to Washington and I just got rid of the copper and just did illustrations. And I tell my club this all the time. Like, you don't realize how much the laser community truly underprices themselves, because people will pay the money if it is done well.
Yes, they will.
And done right. And so I was selling framed reproductions of my illustrations. So they're literally printed on my Canon printer.
Yeah.
Added and framed for $160. So before I was doing this, copper etching and spending all this time making all this, stuff with the copper, and then I literally printing out my illustration and framing it and still making the same amount of money. Like, it was crazy to me.
Yeah. Now, where were you living, or was that through several places that you lived that you did that?
So the copper was primarily when I was living in Florida.
Okay.
The turquoise copper, the patina was really a huge thing in Florida. And I was doing still doing animals, but it was all indigenous to the area. So sea turtles, fish, sailfish, all that fun stuff. And then when I moved to Washington is when I dropped the etching and went to pure just black and white illustration.
So
it made more sense for Washington. The P&W with the art that was there, it just made more sense.
So I don't know that I may not be making the point I want to make here, but let me try. You said you lived in Jupiter in Florida?
Yep.
How big is Jupiter?
I don't know. I
mean, is it a big town? Small?
No, I would say it's smaller. It's not small, but it's not, it's a beach town. It's getting bigger.
And the reason I ask, and I'll ask in just a minute. And then you moved to Washington?
Yeah, Gig Harbor, which is about an hour outside of Seattle.
Okay, so I assume it's not a huge city.
Not at all. No, it was actually smaller than Jupiter.
And then where you live now, is it big now where you live?
Well, I'm a suburb outside of Columbus, so it's pretty big. Like, if I were to do a show here, it would be like the Columbus Art Festival is like, it's big. It's 100,000.
Okay. So the point I'm going to make though is you lived in two towns that were not enormous by any stretch.
Yeah.
And you still sold stuff.
I sold stuff for a lot of money.
Right. And I want people to hear that, right? I think that's important because I hear all the time, oh, nobody will pay that in my town. And I just pretty much want to call you out on it. Yeah, they will. You just haven't got the right people.
Or you're not at the right show.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. You're not in front of the right people.
Yeah, you're not at the right show. So the shows I was doing in Florida and in Washington, I was juried in. So I had to supply photographs and a picture of my tent, and I had to be accepted in, and I was paying, we're talking $500 for my booth.
Yeah.
But I did, 8,000.
Yeah. In fact, let's say that out loud. The other part is, $500 is not a small amount. I think you got to sell $500 to get to zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's, But I think the point I want to make is in virtually every town, there's the right there's the right people. You just got to get in front of them,
Yes.
you know, absolutely. And then on top of that,
And the other thing I would say too, Mark, is that
yeah,
if you don't have them in your town, then you need to focus on figuring out how to do it online.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
In other words, don't buy the excuse, make it happen.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Yeah, make it happen. And you and I both have sold online and in person.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, if you get good and spend the time getting good at online, it doesn't matter where you live. In fact, nobody really knows or cares where you live.
Yeah.
And the world is your oyster. I mean, it's anywhere. My wife and I have been talking about when she retires from being a teacher here in a few years, are we going to move? And the answer is maybe. We're not sure.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about what I do is it doesn't matter where I live at all.
Right.
Nobody knows or cares. And then they find out I live in Oklahoma and they go, oh, where's that? Right. But it doesn't matter. So guys, we would love to help you just get your mindset right. You've got to get in front of the right people, and do not be embarrassed about what you make or what you charge for it.
Oh, so this is kind of fun. So
Yeah.
one of my group members made the 4 in a row
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
gave it to her daughter, and they went around from bar to bar to bar playing the game.
Nice.
And she ended up getting tons of like interest from the younger crowd. She got interest from the bars, they want to buy it. Like, think outside of the box.
Yes. I wanted you to see that. Make sure you saw it.
Oh, yay. Yeah, those tree ornaments are some of my most popular.
And I will tell you that a lot of people are going to be just like this. They've bought your things, didn't realize who you were,
Yeah.
which is fine, totally fine. But now it's nice to connect with the creator, right? Which is great. Here's another one I love.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yes. And by the way, Samaria is watching on YouTube. So we got lots of people watching from different places. I know Diane is watching from YouTube as well. So that's great. Kathy, I think you're close to me, right? I'm not sure who you're close to.
Who are you close to?
I'm not sure. Let us know which one. Okay, you're definitely not close to both of us because we're not that close together. And by the way, besides the fact that I'm all about community and not competition, because Robin is definitely another designer, so we're technically competition, but we don't care. She's also in Ohio and I'm from Michigan. So
yeah, but I'm not going to say it. If anyone's from Ohio, I shouldn't say it.
I actually don't care either, but
I went to Purdue.
Oh, Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, but the point is we just enjoy the community, and that's why we're here doing this together. Because I want everybody in my group and everywhere else to get to know Robin if you don't know her already. And we both just believe in community, and this is a lot of fun to do. So also I want to just say on the technical side real quick, I know that a bunch of you lost connection with us here a few minutes ago. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure. Sorry about that, but you can watch this on demand anytime you want. So if you missed a piece of it, you can come back and watch it. So don't worry about that. Okay. Samaria, I'll just put this on here too. Mm-hmm. I have a smaller laser cutter, so my projects take longer, but I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in the same boat as both of you. Okay. Yep. That's great.
What laser do you have?
Yeah. Samaria, let us know what laser you have. We'd love to maybe see if we can help more or give some insight there.
Yeah, I would actually, or tell us what the size of the cutting bed actually is.
Yes.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah.
So all my files, I try to format to an 18.5 by 10.85 inches.
Okay. That's cool. 18. So we're very close on that one. I do 19 by 10.98. So we're super close.
Yep.
And I have found I don't know about you, the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure that I can get the most, first of all, that the Glowforge can reach it. Mm-hmm. Right. Because I have a Mira as well, like you do too.
Yep.
But I also have a Glowforge. So I want to make sure that everything works on a Glowforge, even if I cut it on the Mira. And if you're buying like from Casey, for example, I want to make sure I get the most out of the material as well.
Yeah.
Same.
So,
yeah.
We lost him again.
Well, I see a couple of people, but then I'm actually watching myself as well here off to the side, and I'm not losing it at all. So we'll see, but we'll figure it out, guys. We're gonna make sure you get all the information you need here. Oh,
Diane, I miss you too. You should come back.
I saw that. We would. Yep. She'll take good care of you whenever you can. So hey, let's it is, yeah, we've got a couple more minutes left. This has been really great. We haven't even got to all the things I wanted to, but this has been really fun. I do want to make sure, there's two things. I want to talk about your file club, but before we do that,
yes,
you said something yesterday. I wrote it down. I smiled so much and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to make her say it again. You said a phrase, just make it already.
Yes.
Talk to me about like when you said that. What did you mean by that?
Well, so in my file club, so I've gotten, this is bad. This is bad. So I've gotten more complex with my builds.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's because I just want to challenge myself.
Yep.
To just continue to up the game, but still make it easy to build. Like I don't want it to be hard to make. And so, so I started a contest in my file club group because someone said, I've been in the group for 6 months and I haven't made anything because I'm scared. And I said, what?
Right.
You're paying and you're scared to make something. So I started a contest that's just make it already. And in order to be entered into the contest, you just have to make a file from the month. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
It could be an ornament. It could be, it could be one of the bigger pieces. It could be one of the smaller kits. Just make one. If you make all 3 file sets, you get 3 entries. And then I have a prize at the end of each month.
I love
it. That seemed to help. Everyone started really making stuff.
So just make it already.
Yep. So we tag all of our posts with just make it already. And we do a blind drawing at the end of the month. It's not a popularity contest. We're not voting, we're just making it, just have fun and enjoy making it.
I love it. That's fantastic. One more technical note. I see that some people are having trouble with the feed on Facebook. If you will go to the YouTube link that I put in the chat, it's been streaming well the whole time. So the issue somehow is Facebook. Jump over to YouTube and catch us there. And you'll be able to watch the replay there as well. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but for all the money we pay to use Facebook, oh wait, it's free. Mm-hmm. So, right. So tell you what, I try to keep it to an hour. I'll tell you ahead of time, everybody, when we get to the straight up hour, maybe I can talk Robin into hanging out for just a couple more minutes, but we will make sure that we answer any questions you have if we can.
Yeah.
And then if you comment after the fact, we will do our best to keep up too. Yes. But I do want to take a minute for her to tell about her file club. I know a lot about it now, but I'll let her introduce it. So I'm on her website right now. And I realize I got to put it on the screen here.
My
Sorry.
members are watching right now. Yeah. So the file club is it's a lot of fun. I started the file club because I was feeling really kind of down as a designer. I felt like I was getting, I don't want to say copied, but I was getting copied a lot with some of my designs. And I was just feeling kind of like, what the heck? Like, I want to be able to just make stuff and people to have a true exclusive and enjoy my designs.
Yep.
And so I started this file club, and it's actually, I didn't tell you this. And I might say this for later. And actually Shelly can speak to this.
Yeah.
I actually booted everyone out of the club twice.
Really?
By mistake.
Oh, by mistake. Okay.
Well, first time was because I wanted to give everyone a free month, and I wanted to take a month off during the holidays, and so I accidentally kicked everyone out. So everyone had to resubscribe. And then this whole shop pay issue, so everyone had to like cancel and re sign up without shop pay. But they are amazing. Like they are amazing. We have more members now. But anyways, okay. So file club. So there's 3 file sets a month.
Well, first of all, before you tell us that,
yes.
so we go to welcomehomecustom.com, no S.
Yes. WHC File Club.
Yep. And you'll go to the top menu. If you're on a full screen, you go to the top menu.
Yep.
And you're going to go to the first link, which is join the file club. And I know it's not open at the moment. I'll let you tell about that in a second.
It is not open right now. And I do that honestly more so that we open every, and I said this before, I say we like there's more than one person. It's me.
Yep.
I mean, I'm married. Does he help? No. He brings
at least does he keep your glass filled? I mean, come on, dude.
Wine.
Right.
He brings me wine. No, so I used to have it open every month, and I felt, especially with how some of the files are a little bit more complicated. I would say I'm more of an intermediate file club.
Yeah.
Having new folks come in every single month was difficult because you would have that constant ramp up in questions. And so I felt closing it down for a few months and then opening it again, and new members could settle in, and learn together, and then become experts, right? And so that's why we're closed. We're closed until January.
Okay. Because that was a question that Brian had. How long to wait until January? Yeah.
So January is when I'm going to open again.
So they can go to this page right here and click on the bottom to join the wait list, right?
Yes. Yep. It basically will add you to a mailing list that's just for the file club. And I will send you an email just saying, hey, it's open if you want to join. I'm really stink at email marketing. So don't expect any email marketing from me.
So let me say this. So I'm gonna let you.
I'm a designer. I'm not an advertiser at all. Like, I suck at marketing.
So I want you to walk us through real quick the details here. I know we can read it on the screen, but just kind of high point it. But before I do, everybody, I highly recommend you take a look at this. I understand that not every subscription is for everybody, but I think this is for a lot of you. So check it out. But in January, when this opens, if a bunch of you leave mine, I'm going to be mad, or I'm just going to cry publicly. Okay?
No, Mark, you've got some, you know what? I think our designs complement each other. They're different enough.
Yeah.
We provide two totally different, not totally different, but provide two different kind of outlets.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But I just wanted to say to everybody, I mean, one of the main reasons I'm having Robin on here is because I love her work, and I think you will too if you don't already know it. So definitely check out her file club, and she's going to tell us real quick just the highlights of the details. So walk us through what they get when they become a member.
Yeah, so three file clubs, or 3 file clubs. Wine. 3 file sets a month. And I say set because it's never just one file within those 3 offerings. It's a showstopper with a DIY option. So think showstopper is a big 36 by 24 or 24 by 24. You're going to charge $300.
Yeah.
It's a showstopper. And when I say showstopper, what you think of as someone's walking by your booth and they stop.
Right.
Because you've got this huge, awesome piece on your wall. That's the point, is to bring people in. And then there's a smaller DIY option for people that are not quite ready to make the big piece. Yeah. There's a one sheet wonder where I guarantee you can cut everything on that file set on one sheet of wood, because I am known for liking to use multiple sheets. And then there is a designer's choice or a member's choice. So, you know, it could be a member has mentioned a game, like there's a backgammon game that I made. It is exclusive for 1 year because they voted it exclusive, but that was a member that asked for the file. So that goes into the exclusivity part of it. So we vote on which one has the long exclusivity. So there's 1 file set that's exclusive for 1 full year, and then 2 file sets that are exclusive for 60 days. I will tell you that just based off the amount of files that they get, it's a huge money saver to join the club. It's $19.95. $19.95.
Ooh, and Shelly said she's paying $19.99. So you're
not
speaking for
Shelly. It's
4 extra cents.
Um,
But I gotta say, mom's in the house.
oh, hi. Hi,
Yes.
Emily.
We always love when Emily's with us, and she says it's amazing club, so much value. So, man, what better endorsement than there is than that? That's
Yep.
fantastic.
So the moving on the member discount, there's 30% off all the files, but then each month that you're a member, it goes up 5%, up to 60% off.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So when you hit 6 months, you're at 60% off.
Unless she kicks everybody out and you have to start over then.
Nope. I didn't in that case. I didn't in that case. Marketing photos. We have our own Facebook group.
Yep.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah,
It's fun. We enjoy it.
Fantastic.
We enjoy it.
And you also do live reveals.
I do live reveals, and they hate me. They hate me for it.
Do they? I bet they don't.
What's that?
I bet they don't hate you for it.
So I release the files the first Friday of every month. And I provide a lot of teasers, but I never show them any of the files. And so when I do the reveal, that's when they actually get to see the files for the first time. And it is so much fun. And then we vote. Thanks, Victor. And then we vote for, which one we want exclusive for a full year. So it's a lot of fun. And we have happy hour. It's first Friday of the month. Everyone knows Robin's enjoying her Russian water.
Oh, hey, Lisa's asking a good question here, and
yes.
I think it's great. Does everyone on the wait list get in when it opens in January?
Yeah, it's really just, it's my way of making an email list so that anyone that wants to be reminded, that wants to join.
So yes. there's not a numerical limit, but there is a calendar limit.
Yes, there is a calendar limit. It is more of a, FYI, we're going to open, and we're only going to open in January.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long is it open? Just the month of January? Or
no, well, it's usually like the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Because there's just a lot going on, and this. Managing a group is a lot. There's a lot. Yep. I am a tease. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry, but that's okay.
No, I'm not sorry.
So let me just kind of say this, just in kind of wrapping this up today, because I would love to do this again, Robin, when you got time. I'd love to go a little deeper into some things. It'd be great. But if this is your first time meeting Robin, you got to go at least like her page, join her group, consider subscribing to her file club in January. Get on the list there, go to her website and go to the file club, and then go down and get on the wait list. If you decide it's not for you, that's okay. But get on the wait list, because that'll help you remember, and you can check that out when that comes around. I think you're really going to dig it a lot. Her work is just gorgeous. And I will tell you, if you have any concerns about making money back, man, back up and watch the beginning of our broadcast here, because we talked about how much money you could charge for some of these things that you should be charging for. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of the time we can get together and just straight up talk about pricing a little bit more, because we both agree wholeheartedly that the whole laser industry, for the most part, is wildly undercharging for their
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
especially like ornaments. I can't believe some of the prices I see on ornaments.
Yeah. You mean on the low end?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd love to talk about that some more, just to encourage people. Hey, do we enjoy selling files? Sure. But we enjoy as much or more watching you guys succeed with them and make some money and take care of your families. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I was going to say, we're not going to, if we obviously want it to sell, right? Because if it doesn't, then why would you come back and buy more?
Exactly. We love hearing the success stories.
We do.
If you're spending just a range, if you're spending $5 to $15 or whatever you're spending on a file, we want you to make back 100 times that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. So that makes us so happy. Besides going and leaving a review for her on her page, leave some stories, because we never get tired of hearing stories of things that worked for you. In any way that we help is fantastic. So guys, you know what? I'm going to respect everybody's time. So we're just going to kind of call it quits for the moment. But I was going to say, we're not live, so I can't ask everybody to give Robin a hand, but you can do that online, right? So thank you.
And Mark.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it very much, Robin. It's been a blast, and we'll do it again soon. Go like her page, join her group, get on her wait list, and look for her in the groups. She's a busy girl, so she's working, but she'll do her best to connect with you if she can. Robin, don't go anywhere. I'll talk to you right when we get off. Everybody else, I see a bunch of emojis there. Shelly is clapping. Thank you very much. If you missed part of this, go back and jump on YouTube because Facebook had some issues, but you can watch it on YouTube on demand anytime you want. Lisa said, thank you so much for these. They're always so informative. Glad you enjoy them. We will have her back for sure. And but until then, you guys jump in the groups. We'll love to take care of you. Make some cool stuff and just make it already.
That's right.
That's right. Guys, thank you so much. Robin, I'll talk to you in a second. Everybody else, have a great night. Make some cool stuff. We'll see you in the groups. Talk to you later.